morning. So good afternoon. So let's continue discussing practical research 2. So lesson for today is writing quantitative research statement on the unit 2 of your developing a research problem. So our objectives for today is this lesson you should be able to do the following. So identify problem statements and research questions. Determine the characteristics of a good research questions. Demonstrate the process of constructing the statement of the problem. So here is defining a quantitative research statement. First, you have to know the following: statement of the problem, research questions. We have categories of research questions, characteristics of good research questions, and writing the research statement. So let's start with a statement of the problem. So a statement of the problem is an integrative but brief discussion of the research problem, its context, and the questions of the study. It is anchored on the discussion of the research problem and the general and the specific research question. It is often written as a part of the introduction of the study. So here, if we're talking about statement of problem, it's integrative but brief discussion of the research problem, not the statement or the research statement of the problem. Okay, so statement of the problem is an integrative but brief discussion only about your research problem. So the research problem is different from the statement of the problem. Okay, so later on I have a video, another video that at the last part of our of this slide. So about that is an example of how to write a statement of a problem, and there we discuss the statement of problem and the research problem. What are the two difference? What are the difference between the two? Okay, so the main goal of writing a statement of a problem is to provide a concise overview of the topic in relation to the research question. So it is important to know how to write a well-written statement of the problem because it provides focus and direction of the conduct of the study. So again, statement of problem is integrative but brief discussion, and the goal of the statement of problem is provide a concise overview of the topic in relation to the research question. Okay, in relation to the research question or significant of the study. So research question. The statement of the problem depends heavily on the research question since it lies at the core of the study. So the research question identifies the specific aspects of the topic that current study seeks to investigate. So if we're talking about the research question, this is a specific aspects of the topic. So a researcher can have one or more general questions and various specific questions. It is important to know how to write good research questions because they continuously guide the researchers throughout the research process. So may it be in written, on writing, the literature review, collecting data, or analyzing the data, all aspects and findings of the study must be in line with the research question. Take note that this is correlated. Related gini ang imuhang research question to the following. Okay, dili pwede maglahi-lahi. Okay, asa mo siya nag-relate? Writing the literature review, collecting the data, and analyzing the data. It is related to the finding of the study. So related siya sa research question. So research question are foundation or foundational to any research study. They primarily signify what the research intended to study. Muna siya yung research question na muna yung categories. So research question are foundation to the research study. Signify what research or what the researchers intended to study. Muna yung ilhanan. So different types of research employ different types of research questions. So the type of research question depends on the nature of the study, whether it is descriptive, comparative, evaluative, or explanatory. So sometimes the type of research question also changes depending on whether the study employs a quantitative or qualitative methodology. So descriptive research questions. Ano siyang descriptive? Descriptive research questions are used to describe certain patterns and usually focus on a single and non-complex variable. In quantitative research, descriptive question focuses on three parts: describing the result, take note, describing the result and observations, and do not provide explanation on cause and effect relationship. So, ang descriptive research di man na itulo. Okay? Sa quantitative, describe the result and observation. It does not mean may provide explanation on the cause and effects. Number two, they may take the form of what, where, when, how types of question, but the use of these interrogative words do not directly imply the presence of the descriptive research question. So what, where, when, and how mora question mo. The question must be analyzed according to what kind of information it tends to provide. To describe research question may be used to quantify or categorize the variables in the study. So comparative research are mainly used to compare and construct similarities and difference between the groups and variables. Comparative man siya, dili pareha, it's not the same as descriptive. Huh? So comparative question is mainly to compare and construct similarities. These types of question may be used to compare two or more groups of variables. So question mo duha ka groups of variables. Ang descriptive, what, where, when, and how. Then, ang pattern niya is describing result and observation and do not provide explanation on cause and effects. Evaluative research questions are formed to assess a particular observation or phenomenon. They should be based on an established model or theory as its basis for the possibility of forming a basis for newfound knowledge. Okay, so they are also used to assess how certain procedures or process work. So evaluative questions are usually used in action research and applied research and are usually observed in organizations, workplace, programs, and effectivity of projects implemented. So evaluation research questions is more on to assist particular observation or phenomenon. Evaluate lang. Usually is to evaluate only. More questions is to evaluation. So explanatory questions are mainly formed to explain relationship between variables and how one variable may have effect to another. Such questions may be used to explain either correlation or causation in quantitative research. These questions may be explained and predict change or identify the possible outcomes based on the observed relationship on the variables. In terms of interrogative words, explanatory questions are usually in the form of why and how questions. So this is explanatory how the students perform well in mathematics. Why is the student did not perform well in mathematics? So categories of research question examples. So I have here the type, the nature of questions, and example. So let's go to descriptive, the type. Nature of questions. What are the characteristics of descriptive descriptions of the variables? You have here the explanation. How frequent is the production of essential oils for herbal medicines? So how and what? What criteria are considered by customers in choosing a store? So you have here a descriptive type of example. You have comparative. What are the similarities of difference between the variables? There are two variables now because we're going to compare. What is the difference? Take note na descriptive is to describe only, comparative is to compare two variables. What is the difference between the quality of natural and synthetic ink? How do Gen Z and millennials differ in terms of dating attitudes? Ganahan kay mo ana. Okay? So evaluative. What is the current state of certain phenomenon? Evaluate man. Evaluate siya. Ha? What is the current state? So muna siyang what and how. But it is on evaluative question. So what is the current state of a certain phenomenon? And then you have example, how satisfied are you with the implementation of the K-12 curriculum? And then evaluative, how do we assess the phenomenon? Did the art of therapy program work for the patients with post-traumatic stress disorder? Or did the students K-12 program work for the students, okay, who will who is let's say going to graduate and proceed to college? So that is evaluative. Explanatory, what are the effects of one variables on the other variables? Okay, what changes can be produced in the relationship within the two variables? So we have here example, how does nurse intervention affect explanatory patient's pre-survey stress level? Okay, how does employment tenure contribute to productive workers? So let's proceed. So characteristics of a good research question. A good research question, together with a well-structured program, with a well-structured problem statement, exhibits the possible impact of the research. So it reflects the difference of the current study from the other study on the field, thus also justifying the need to conduct the study. Hence, good research questions are fundamental in making a well-structured statement of the problem. So, the good to provide a good research question, okay, to provide a well-structured problem statement, it exhibits possibility between the two. A research, a topic who has been researched already, and between the gap of that research. So that is now your study. Okay? That is a well-structured problem statement. Na research na siya, okay, na siya research all about, kao na lang nimo ang iyang gap as we discussed previously, ba? Sa may gap, diha ka mosulod. So pag sulod nimo sa gap, diha na ka maka-identify. That's the time you can identify what problem you are going to research. And then from the topic, get the title. After creating the title, get a good problem statement based from your gap. Okay? Okay. Here are some characteristics of well-structured research question. We have SMARC. That's SMART, ha? Okay. The SMART is specific, measurable, analytical, relevant, and timely. But here, we have to eliminate T, and we put C in replacement. So what is specific? So a specific, it means a well-structured research question must not be too broad or too detailed. Okay? They employ the right amount of specificity in indicating the variables to be studied. So dili taas. Measurable. In quantitative research questions must be measured or measurable through the use of standardized tests or experiments. So the measurability of research questions also indicate their feasibility. So in your case, it is not an experiment. Okay, it is a survey question. Kuha, kaya ang experiment, dugay ka na siya mahuman. Okay, so let's go to question and survey lang tayo. So next is analytical. Good research questions do not simply ask yes or no questions. They invoke a complex analysis of the research problem and warrant a systematic investigation of the topic. So, one is analytical research problem and the investigate how you investigate the research properly. Okay, So kung naka-study na imuhang topic, ayaw na pagbalhin-balhin ha. Okay, so relevant. All research questions, whether general or specific, must be relevant of the research problem. Take note, relevancy. Ang research statement or statement of the problem must be relevant to the research problem. Kuha. Okay? Okay, later on, you have a framework. Okay, conceptual framework. It is also correlation or correlated to your statement of the problem. Ang inyong framework. Okay? Then last is clear. Research questions have to be clear for both researchers and readers. Must be used simple language and must be constructed in a comprehensive manner. Ayaw ng daghang book. It must be clear. Okay, writing the research statement. So we have here to finalize the research topic. You have to draft the research question. You have to write the general problem statement and refine the statement of the problem. So first, finalize the research topic. Your topic should be final in order for you to construct your statement of the problem. This will allow you to draft a coherent statement of the problem and would give you a solid starting point in guided inquiry. So the final research topic must reflect the main variables of the study. So example, effects of Facebook photo likes on the self-esteem of teenagers. What is the independent variable? Facebook photo likes. What is dependent variable? Self-esteem of teenagers. Okay? Dependent. So unsa may dependent variable, mag-depend siya sa imuhang independent variable, which is Facebook photo likes. Unsa may mo gitagag research topic, it's on the Facebook photo likes. Okay? Effects nimo self-esteem of the teenagers. Draft a research question from the finalized research topic. Draft the research question which reflect the aspects of the topic which the current study seeks to investigate. So we have the different types of research questions may be used according to the appropriateness of the topic. So we have an example, explanatory, how do Facebook photo likes affect the self-esteem of female adolescents. So we have the descriptive, what are the factors that affect the number of Facebook photo like. We have here a descriptive example. Okay, write the general problem. The general problem statement helps the authors establish the overall goal and direction of the research. So a quantitative problem statement must contain the research topic, the main objective of the study, and the variable to be studied. So example, we have this study aims to find out the effect of Facebook photo likes on the level of self-esteem of female senior high school student in XYZ school. So we have here now the statement of the problem. Okay? So ano na siya? This study aims to find out the effect. Okay, a good statement of the problem helps the author establish the overall goal. Unsa may imong goal nimo, unsa may direction sa imong research. So we have here a quantifiable example of a research topic, which is study aims to find out, quantify, volume, daghan, the effect of Facebook photo likes on the level of self-esteem of female senior high school student in XYZ school. Fourth, refine the statement of the problem. So incorporate research questions and the potential contribution of the study to define statement of the problem. The research question must be written as declarative, not interrogative sentence, by including the potential contribution of the study. So the statement of the problem provide an overall not only for the research topic and the research questions, but also the overall goal of the study. So example, we have The study aims to find out the effects of Facebook photo likes on the level of the self-esteem of female senior high school student in XYZ school. Specifically, the study looks into the factors that influence the number of Facebook photo likes and its respective impact on the self-esteem of teenagers, specifically female adolescents. An explanatory study on the relationship between the Facebook photo likes and the self-esteem of teenagers can potentially inform the public about the possible gains and dangers of social media activities of self-perceptions of adolescents. So you have now the statement of the problem. Okay? So we have here.
Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ang statement of the problem and objective of the study. So, ano ang statement of the problem? So, ang statement of the problem, according to Visa, is used in the search work as a claim that outlines the problem addressed by study. So, the statement of the problem briefly addresses the question, what is the problem that the research will address? So, pinag-usapan nito yung ano yung problema na dapat natin sulbahin, no? I-address, no? Solusyonan. So, ito yung statement of the problem. Ang problema na dapat nating solusyonan. So, ano ito? Ito yung statement of the problem. So, may kailangan ng statement of the problem sa research study. So, ang research problem, so, ang research problem is a situation that needs a solution and for which there are possible solutions. So, ang research problem mo ay kung ano yung problema na gusto mong solusyonan. At yung statement of the problem naman, ito yung mga problema kung saan pinapaliwanag mo kung paano mo ito solusyonan. No? So, ito yung problema. Problema lang. The research problem. For example, this pregnancy, that is a problem. Then, statement is how you will, paano mo i-address ang problema. So, i-outline mo ito. So, that's according to Visa. So, according to Visa, views towards statement of the problem. So, a statement of the problem is used in research work as a claim that outlines the problem addressed by study. So, a good research problem should address an existing gap in knowledge in the field and lead to further research. Then, to write a persuasive problem statement, you need to describe the ideal, the reality, and the consequences. By the way, Visa is from an international writer. So, ito yung kanyang views towards statement of the problem. So, huwag kayong lito pag problem statement and statement of the problem, they are just the same. Magkaparehan sila. Ang format for writing a statement of the problem by Visa. So, meron tong part A, B, and C. So, first is the ideal, next, the reality, the consequences. So, the ideal describes first the desired goal or the ideal situation, explains how things should be. Next is describes the condition that prevents the goal state or the value in part A from being achieved or realized at this time. So, explains how the current situation falls short or of the goal or ideal. And the part C, the consequences, so that identifies the way to propose to improve the current situation and move it closer to the goal or ideal. So, ang halimbawa nito ay ito. So, ito yung example ni Visa sa part A, B, and C, the statement of the problem. Okay? So, ngayon, si Visa is from international. So, dito naman tayo sa atin, no, sa Philippines setting. So, meron, halimbawa si Olandria, 2015, no, how to write a statement of the problem. So, first, a declarative general statement. So, general muna statement is presented. While the specific statements in interrogative form, so meaning in question form, come next. Then this is followed by the objective of the study, which exposes the purposes the research wants to achieve. So, first is general statement muna tayo. Then next to that is the specific questions which is written in interrogative form. No? So, ito yung halimbawa sa Philippine setting, ginagamit specifically ginagamit sa amin. Iba-iba kasi, no, ang statement of a problem pwedeng in question form or pwede in declarative form. So kanina, yung kambisa is in declarative. So meaning in statement form. Ito naman in question form, no? Ito first is general statement. So there were some important points that we understanding. The following serve as a guide question that lead to meaningful information that would help the teachers who encounter the same problem. So first is, what is the academic performance in terms of teaching strategy? Next, is there a significant difference of academic performance in mathematics in terms of A, B, and C, no? Then three is, what are the problems of slow learners under effects to learning? And then number four, what are the programs that will contribute to the effectiveness of teaching strategies on slow learners? So ito yung statement of the problem. First is in general statement, followed by the question form, no? Specific problem in question form. Then ito, kasi maganda ito, kasi galing dito sa statement of the problem is pwede kayo makabuo ng objective, no? Kasunod yung statement of the problem is objective. So, for example, what is the academic performance in terms of teaching strategy? So, ang magiging objective nito ay ito, no? Determine the academic performance in terms of teaching strategy. Then, the same kanina, so what is there a significant difference? So, ito yung question form. Ang sagot lang yan ay ito magiging objective ninyo. Sa third naman, what are the problems of slow learners and their effects to learning? So, determine the problems of, so, ito yung magiging objective ninyo. The last one is, what are the programs that will contribute? So, ito yung objective ninyo. Determine the programs that will contribute to the effectiveness of teaching strategies on slow learners. So, mas maganda ito kasi from statement of the problem, magsusolusyon na kayo, gagawin ng solution or the objective from the statement of the problem. So, parang similar lang sila, related lang sila. So, I think that's it, no? That's all. If you have questions, just comment below and don't forget to subscribe.
So before we go, I'd like to instruct something, what to do for tomorrow until Thursday next week. Okay, tomorrow and until Thursday or Friday next week. Depends upon how fast you can create your chapter 1. Okay. So based on instruction, so listen carefully. Go. So this is your research. Okay, so from chapter 1, so I have here chapter 1 of chapter 2, and we have chapter 3. Okay, so I write down all what is necessary to be included on your research thesis. Okay, so let's discuss. Listen. So the first page would be research title in bold. All fonts will be Arial. Okay, so research title in bold uppercase letter following inverted pyramid. So so listen, for Mandawi students, this is your quantitative research presentation for Mandawi student. Okay, so presented to faculty of Benedicto College Mandawi City campus. So AS Fortuna. On the other hand, on Cebu City students, this is your quantitative research presentation. Okay, so quantitative research presentation at the faculty of Cebu City campus, senior high department. So the address and so on. Okay, do not write the two. If you are on student Mandawi, write only Mandawi. If you are on Cebu, write on Cebu. Okay, and so on and so forth. So you have here grade 12. What is your strand? Okay. So next page is approval sheet. Next page is acknowledgement sheet. Next page is abstract. Take note, abstract is 300 words. So you go to Microsoft Word, type what is abstract. What is abstract? You already discussed that one. Okay, what is abstract? Summary na siya of what is your research all about in 300 words. So, i-type na nimo sa Microsoft Word and then naaka i-highlight nimo tanan and then at the bottom of Microsoft Word ay word count that's 300. Type pa. Okay, tanawag 300 ba na siya. Then you have keywords. You already discussed what is keywords. Okay, so at the bottom of the abstract, you type the keywords. Okay, so the next page would be table of contents, and the next page would be chapter 1, introduction, which is also a rationale. Okay, so introduction or rationale, put rationale here, then what is your introduction? Next, the background of the study, statement of the problem, significance of the study, scope and delimitation, significant scope and limitation, definition of terms. So I already put that one, what is all about background, what is all about statement of problem, what is statement of the study, all about scope of delimitation, it's all about and definition of terms. Okay, so this chapter 1 mauni imong buhaton. Group leader, please go with your members, okay? So communicate with your members. So by Friday next week or by Thursday next week, kinahanglan nakapas na mo on the first chapter. Okay? Chapter 1. So before you create your chapter 1, you must have a title. Okay? Send to me your title so that we are going to evaluate. Ato na siyang tanawon kung sa'yo maayo. Title, 2 titles or 3 titles, 2 to 3 titles with subtitles. Okay? Title niya is ang usa ka title with subtitle. Okay? Ana ka title. So, 3 titles nga na sub, and sub. Okay? So, chapter 1, inyong buhaton. So, later on, mag-instruct na sa ta, na sa tay discussion all about conceptual framework. Review of literature and conceptual framework. That is chapter 2. Review literature, conceptual framework, research hypothesis, definition of terms. Okay? So, tangtangan na lang yun. Ang definition of terms. Then number 2. So, eliminate this one. Ha? Tangtangan lang yung definition of terms dire. Dire na lang natin ibutang. Okay? So, ari na lang sa chapter 2. So, eliminate definition of terms on chapter 1. Okay? So, chapter 2, research hypothesis, definition of terms. Then we go to chapter 3. Later on, mag-discuss sa the research design, sample, the sample, instrument, intervention, collection of procedures, dayon, plan for data analysis. So, nako'y gipangbutang diri nga, what is this all about? And next is chapter 4, presentation analysis of data. Okay? So, ang chapter 4, mauna na siya yung mga data gathering. Okay? So, per table na siya. So, nanakay mga, let's say, survey. So, gikan sa survey questionnaire, kuhaan mo data, and then, kuhaan o interpretation. Mauna na siya dire. Okay? Data analysis. The chapter 5, conclusion and recommendation of your study. Okay? And then you have here references. The references would be follow the 6th edition style for referencing. So, 2020 or 2020 na siya. So, nakagibutang nga link. Just simply click the link or go to this link, and then it will open up a link, which is i-open na to, allow, mauna ni siya karon. Okay, this is the reference. So, nakay mga list, sample. kung mag-reference ka og book, go to research book, so mo na siya pag-implement. Kung book chapter, kana siya. Kung journal, kana siya. Okay? So dili ninyo ha mag-gather ka na kung nakay libro, so mo na siya unsang pag butang reference kung nakay specific book chapter butang journal gani na siya butang web gani na siya author mo na siya ibutang. Okay? Web page gani na mo na ibutang. Just follow the references. Okay? Which is indicated on your research paper format. Kini siya. And then, next is the appendices. So, ang appendices nimo, you have the survey questionnaire. Imo gina siyang ibutang ang imong survey questionnaire. Not all ha. Kung 30 ka book inyo ang survey questionnaire, ayaw na ibutang ang 30 book. No. Survey questionnaire, kato lang question na ilahang yansiran. Okay? Letter to the respondents, nagdungan. No? Letter to the respondents, transmittal letter, curriculum vitae, inyohan na ha. Inyohan ng mga resume ba, ha? Then documentation. Picture na ninyo, take a picture ninyo, nagbuhat mo og research, tanan, all students under sa group na nagbuhat, dili ka na po picture, mo po selfie, no. Ni-conduct sa research. Kung ikarang usa din, pati kong pictures, imuhang kinsa man na diha, pati kong picture, nagsuwat, turang maka, then ibutang ni tanawon i-zoom gid ninyo nga naamo no as a whole and then zoom na mo na inyo hagibuhat. Okay, that is documentation. So question clarification. So if I have additional instructions, I will put that one on your teams. Okay, so thank you and keep safe everybody.